Ethos of Silence.
A veteran podcast aims to amplify the voices of veterans, creating a safe space for authentic conversations about their experiences, challenges, and triumphs. We seek to break the stigma surrounding mental health and foster community support, resilience, and understanding. Through storytelling, expert insights, and candid discussions, we strive to inspire healing, promote awareness, and empower veterans on their journeys.
Welcome. The will to victory. Alexander as a young man?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Definition of anachronistic.
Here's the definition of anachronistic. Belonging to a period other than that being portrayed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what we thought.
Yeah. Well, we use context clues. We got there.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. Math for Marines helps us figure out words all the time.
Belonging or appropriate to an earlier period, especially so as to seem conspicuously.
So belonging to a different period. So the fact of pulling your pride, pulling your honor from another period, from another thing.
She is rebelling against the anachronistic morality of her parents. Or
Yeah, no. We can leave those.
Say you're going along.
We can leave those $15 college words where the hell they're at. Say what you mean. Don't be using these $15 words on me trying to confuse me.
I don't know. This might be an old school. Well, it's actually the adjective anachronistic comes from the Greek word ana, or against, and chronos, or time.
So it literally plays on all the words that he was using in the passage to then evolve and get you to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It usually refers to something old-fashioned or antique.
But once again, the way that he utilized all the words that it came from before he ever played it gave us because we understand what all those words were and didn't know what anachronistic was, and then he throws that out there, and there's enough other stuff going on in the package to have our minds going in the correct direction to interpret the fact of what was going on.
Yeah, there were practitioners.
That is some magnificent writing, sir.
I'm getting. Do I get a certificate after I finish?
We can. We can make certificates.
Print
Why not?
Me out one.
Why not? We'll print them out. We'll add them to our.
Ethos of Silence.
We'll add them to our pitch book, buddy.
And I'll get a test on this later. Kevin, what was anachronistic meaning, and what does it mean? In today's
Everybody
society?
listening, anachronistics for bonus points on the test.
That's it. It'd be a shame if you don't know it. You will get docked.
Yeah, no bonus point for you.
Death before dishonor.
All right, so Ethos of Silence, we're back. TJ here with KG, and let's jump into it, man.
What's up,
this
guys?
is Ethos 678, Ethos number 8.
Ethos number 8.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, we're in The Warrior Ethos. Stephen Pressfield. Great book. Amazon, I'm sure, has it. Get a chance to get it. I'm finding it very fascinating and educating. We've gone through quite a few chapters. We've passed now chapter 18, and we are now on chapter 19. So it's titled The Will to Victory. When Alexander was a boy, a party of traders came to Pella, the Macedonian capital, selling trained war horses. Philip the king and all his officers went down to the plain to put these mounts through their paces. One horse, called Bucephalus, was by far the fastest, strongest, and bravest. But he was so wild that no one could ride him. Alexander watched as his father let the steed go without making an offer. "What a fine mount you lose, father," he said, "for want of spirit to ride him." At this, the king and all his officers laughed. "And what will you pay for this horse, my son? If you can ride him, all of my prince's inheritance." So they let the boy try. Now Alexander had noticed something about the horse that no one else had, that the beast was spooked by its own shadow. So he took Bucephalus's bridle and turned him to face into the sun. Then, little by little, speaking gently to him and stroking his neck, he succeeded in quieting the steed down. Next, with a quick leap, he sprung onto the horse's back. Philip and the officers watched in breathless trepidation as the prince took this fiery mount out onto the track and spurred him into a gallop. Would the horse throw Alexander, trample him, or break his neck? Alexander coolly brought the animal under control and raced him full tilt around the circuit. When he returned to the grandstand, the officers cheered him and wildly, while Philip came forward with tears in his eyes and took his son into his arms. Look, you for a kingdom far greater than ours, my son, for Macedonia is plainly too small for you. I can only imagine.
Attention to detail.
The beginnings of Alexander.
Who knows how true that story is passed down, but definitely paints the picture of.
I feel that in my spirit.
Yeah.
I rode a horse when I was way young. I can remember. I got a good wild story. My mother and father would often, as they could, take trips out of Louisiana and experience in other parts, Missouri, Arkansas. One trip I can remember, I was probably about 9, 10. I couldn't have been more than Andre's age. My brother, 3 years older of me, together on this trip. And one of the places that we stopped was popular horse trail riding on one of these resorts. And they had the horses well trained. They were all saddled and gentle, and they were just supposed to be riding horses. And the trail had a starting point, and they had people that would get the horses, put you up on the horses already saddled to go. My mother and father saw it, and we begged to go get on the horses for a ride.
Begged and pleaded to ride the horses,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'd already ridden a couple of horses, and I was a cowboy at heart coming up. And so they agreed and saddled onto the horse. I was the younger. I got into the saddle. My brother on the back. And I wasn't satisfied with just walking that horse down that trail until it came to a stop. I spurred that horse into the guild and to his flanks, and that horse ran as fast as he absolutely could, just wide open gallop, long steed strokes, and my brother dying his heart out, screaming on the back of the horse for it to stop was the best thing I could have ever heard from my bully of a brother. I loved that trip, and that is the best memory I could think of. But that horse, and I was 10, and that horse was wide open. And
Revenge 101.
It was, but I felt the power of that horse and the power of that beast, and I wanted every bit of it. If he could have went faster, I wanted faster.
Alive, the adrenaline rush, the
it was part of that too.
Also, the same thing that we chase on the backside is trying to catch that.
Yeah. But that
trying
horse,
to catch that thrill.
That thrill.
Could you imagine the thrill of Alexander?
No.
No. Could you imagine the thrill of the fact of getting the standing ovation from all the officers as you're this prince of Macedonia?
I just supported everything you wanted to do.
And you come back and you've got this standing ovation.
Yeah. All it did
and
was
your father tells you, son, you are meant for bigger things.
Concrete is his legend right there on that spot.
Yeah.
He would never be without that horse again. Took it with him. I get it. I felt the power of that beast. And is this a made up story? Perhaps. I don't think so though. I think it was real. I can see its reality.
Well,
I don't know.
History's written by who?
The victor.
Mm-hmm.
And who was the victor? Alexander the Great was, in fact. Don't know.
Until he wasn't.
Chapter 19 goes on. We're on page 57, guys and gals. Patton said Americans play to win at all times. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for a man who lost and laughed. That's why Americans have never lost a war and never will lose one. The will to fight, the passion to be great, is an indispensable element of the warrior ethos.
Yeah.
It is also the primary quality of leadership because it inspires men and fires their hearts with ambition and the passion to go beyond their own limits.
Yeah.
Epaminondas, I think I got that right. Epaminondas, yes, Epaminondas. That sounds like a warrior name. The great Theban general was the first to beat the Spartans. Okay, I did not know this.
Theban. What the hell's a Theban?
Well, the strong Epaminondas was a great warrior of the Theban general. He was the first to beat the Spartans at the Battle of Leuctra, Leuctra, Leuctra. I have to look that one up. In 371 BC. The evening before the fight, Epaminondas called his warriors together and declared that he could guarantee victory on the morrow. If you need more information on veterans benefits, please visit our website at VFW Post 4224.org. That's Victor Foxtrot Whiskey, Post 4224.org. All of our contact information is in the description of the video. Please email us if you have any questions. We now have a moment of silent prayer for those still in the battle, for our departed comrades, for those missing in action, and for those held as prisoners of war.